This is ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay, brewed by Coors Light on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
The number one team in the country comes to Camp Randall Stadium. An opportunity for the Wisconsin Badgers to showcase themselves on the national stage, right?
You said that with a straight face?
I tried. There's a lot of buzz in downtown Madison. Not for the game. There's actually bees swarming around us here at the tailgate on Regent Street. And then there's a football game going on as well. It's ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay, brewed by Coors Light. 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. Alongside the school board president, Adam Mertz. My name is Jesse Nelson. Brad Nortman joining us remotely in a moment. ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay is brewed by Coors Light. You know what? No matter what the outlook is for a game, no matter how you're feeling about the state of the football program, you can kick back and enjoy a Saturday in Madison in the best college sports town in the world with an ice-cold Coors Light. When you need to refresh on game day or any day, choose a beer as cold as the Rockies. Cold filtered, cold lagered, cold packaged for peak refreshment. When the mountains are blue, you know what to do, and that's crush a Coors Light. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado, and the patrons who are making their way in here at ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay's tailgate on Regent Street already with Coors Lights in hand, enjoying a beautiful Saturday afternoon. Couldn't ask for a better fall day, Mertzy, to take in a likely one-sided football game at Camp Randall Stadium.
Yeah, but how about this day? I mean, and not to distract from the game, but this is an amazing, amazing day outside. 75 degrees, sunny, light breeze. This is going to be a magnificent afternoon for football.
We can talk about the weather or we can talk about Hunter Simmons. I'm not sure which one I'd rather do at this point. Brad Nortman joins us remotely from the Nortman Estate, and that means for the first time since the first game of the season, for the first time since the Badgers took to the field in 2025, we've got the A crew all assembled here on ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay. What's up, Brad?
Gentlemen, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
We got you.
Gentlemen. Okay, excellent. I'm glad you can hear me. So, two observations right off the bat. Number one, this is how I know we've reached rock bottom as a program. We're starting off talking about the weather. That's how I know we're in bad straits. Number two, you know how Wisconsin Badgers in the off season, they do the squat fest. Here at the Nortman residence, it's the snot fest. That's what we got going on with our kids feeling under the weather. So I appreciate the flexibility. I wish I was there with you guys. But outside the window, the other estates are looking beautiful. So at a minimum, it's a nice day for a game. It's a nice day to get boat raced by Ohio State.
I don't know if you mean that you would rather be here with us, Brad. I think you've got a newborn at home. You've got a nice, lovely family. I think you're perfectly fine being where you are today.
Well, when you're around kids so much, you just need a little bit of adult time, you know what I mean? And nothing says adult like on Regent Street in Madison, Wisconsin.
Well, we wish you were here. We do miss you. We look forward to the next time that all three of us are back together. Maybe the Badgers will score a touchdown or any points by the next time that the two of us or the three of us get together. All right, so I wasn't here last week. What happened? I was at a wedding.
How long a version do you want?
I was at a wedding on Saturday night. Game 5 of the Brewers was going on. It was in Chicago, so I'm surrounded by Cubs fans. They all had the Cubs game, Cubs NLDS Game 5 up on their phones while we're dancing on the dance floor at the open bar.
Yeah.
It was a pretty miserable setup to try as a diehard Brewers fan to try and enjoy Game 5 of the NLDS. But there wasn't even a thought about the Badger game until I was getting texts from former Iowa offensive lineman Brian Bulaga all night talking trash. And then I looked up the score on the ESPN app and I said, what the heck? I thought this was supposed to be a 3.5-point game. what happened, Mertzy? What happened last week?
There's a lot of times when you're just not a great team when you make errors based on what the opponent is doing to you. You just don't match up. You're put into tough positions. You force things. It doesn't work out. I think the most disappointing thing out of last week was the unforced errors by this Wisconsin team. They got gashed left and right, and you can talk all day about the X's and O's of it, about not being prepared and coming in, like you said, Brad was saying, off the 42 from last year and rebuilding your roster to try to stop the run and still giving up 200 yards. This is all true. But when you put yourself into a 17-0 hole in the first quarter on just horrific plays, including a gimme near pick six interception, like you could just feel the balloon deflate immediately. And the game was over. The game was over 12 minutes in.
Brad?
Yeah, Mertz, you said it so well. It seemed like this team was so unprepared to take the field. And Jesse, you mentioned Brian Balaga. We had him on KBN, and we just said, almost with a smile on our face, what do you make of this new Wisconsin team? Or new, not new and improved, new and struggling. The word he used is it's sad. He said it's just sad. Huh. And I think that's where I'm at with the state of the program. It's sad. Last week against Iowa, just everything that you saw was uncharacteristic of a traditional Wisconsin team. Undisciplined, bonehead plays, turnovers, beating yourself. But not only that, it was one-sided in the trenches. It was one-sided everywhere you look, even in coaching, decision-making. So, it's one thing when we look at this team and say historically, oh man, this is a bad, air quotes, Wisconsin football team. That normally meant like you're a 500 football team. This isn't a bad Wisconsin football team. This is a bad football team. And I think that's where I'm at as far as frustration with the program, because how can you take on a rival that, as we talked about last week, preparing mentally and physically with 42 push-ups and making it a huge deal to make a statement against Iowa. And in fact, a statement was made, but it's the opposite statement you're looking to make. So it was the most discouraged I've been so far in the Luke Fickell era, and it's really not even close.
And there's been the bar continues to lower, Brad. How many times do I feel like you've said that? I think the thing that irritated, this is a tough statement to make, the thing that irritated me the most and was telling is Tyrese Fearbury getting an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty before the game starts. Just shows you where this team's brain is, which is nowhere. How is that possible? And it wasn't like one of those where you accidentally bump into each other in the tunnel. Like, he was on the other side of the field making this happen. This is like a lack. You could point to lack of control, but more than that, it's like a lack of respect for what you're trying to accomplish on the field. In what world does that make sense? And just seeing where these guys are at mentally right now, I can't comprehend what's going on that field, Jesse. They don't show up with any purpose. Forget about like quitting or that's subjective. They're not showing up with a purpose and a plan.
One thing that I guess we can be optimistic about heading into today's game is, in the Luke Fickell era, as bad as some of the games have been, especially as bad as Maryland and Iowa have been this year, when a top 5 opponent has come to Camp Randall Stadium, the team has elevated its game. They led Oregon going into the fourth quarter last year. They hung competitive with Penn State and Ohio State a couple of years ago. So there is that one thing that you can look at today and say, okay, it's the number 1 team in the country. You got embarrassed last week. I'm sure practice wasn't enjoyable this week for anybody. And maybe there's a fire lit, there's a spark that they come out and play with an intensity we haven't seen yet this year. But again, looking at the film, looking at the track record now, more than 2.5 years into this operation under Luke Fickell, there's really no evidence that that's going to happen outside of hope and crossing your fingers that we can run it back the way that we were right in it with Ohio State at halftime in 2023 and Penn State and Oregon under the lights last year.
Yeah, when I think of teams coming into Camp Randall and this team actually getting up for major opponents like we saw last year, but then playing down and well below other inferior opponents, it just speaks to a lack of culture to me. And we've talked about that, right? Lack of identity, lack of culture. wondering what these guys are holding fast to. I mean, anybody with a pulse can get up for Ohio State, right? I mean, in this case, number one team in the country. It's at home. Ohio State is going to get everybody's best swing. That includes Wisconsin. But the fact that you can't sustain that and you can't hammer teams that should be inferior to you, and just quite honestly, it just doesn't look like the team's having fun. It looks like nobody is having fun. And the reality is winning is fun, so it's hard to manufacture joy if you're losing. But I've never seen a team so flat and like they're just lacking so much joy. But you know what? If there's ever a time to see if there's a heartbeat, it's today.
Absolutely, Brad. And I feel like when you're saying this, Jesse, that's sort of like the last level of mystique that's going to get stripped today out of what's happening here, is that if they don't show up today, what else can they hang their hat on? Because you're right. They have performed well against the top opponents that came in. They're a 4th and 9 incompletion from Dylan Gabriel away from beating Oregon. That coming out of jump around last year. They don't get that. I don't think the Ducks win that game. It would have been an amazing win. And you look back at these junctures during the Luke Fickell era, if this, if that, there's like a little thing here or there maybe would have turned the momentum. And I just worry at this point that there's no getting it back. And I think that's where the concern is for people about Luke Fickell's job status. Overall, I'm a little bit alarmed at how jumpy people are these days, how trigger-happy ADs are about moving on from a coach. I get it, the visceral reaction of being embarrassed like that. But when you take a game in isolation, my mind went back this week, and I'm going tangentially because there's a lot of emotions here. I was at a game at Iowa, 1996, Ron Dane's freshman year. 31-0 Iowa. Badgers didn't get a first down until the third quarter. But you viewed that game in the context of what else was going on within this program. Every time you watch stuff happen here, it's just this long train, it's the long descent, and it's one more piece of the puzzle of like why it's not working. And I don't know what Luke Fickell can do to rescue it at this point. I think he's got to obviously win a game. I don't care which one it is. I don't see it happen in the next 2 weeks, but if you don't get something soon, these guys are going to be checked out entirely.
Mertz,
go ahead, Brad.
That's a really good point. I just think the word that I'm hearing when you talk about that is trend. Like, what is the trend of the program right now? Because at that point, Barry Alvarez has proved himself, resurrected the program, won a Rose Bowl. Even the times when Christ and Bielema had down years, it was usually sandwiched between 8, 9, 10 wins, and you're doing okay. I have never seen such a downward trend. And even the people that want to be Luke Fickell's stance of being in his corner, each week that passes, there's less to stand on. And honestly, it's a weird situation to be in because, you want to be, I know I do, I want to be a Wisconsin fan and I want to be able to root for this team and see them get victories. But it's harder and harder to find the silver lining. And I feel like at this point, the scales are completely tipped. I don't know what you can place in the positive, balance sheet, if you will, of Luke Fickell's tenure.
I feel like that was healthy for all of us, just to kind of let that all out. I think that was a warranted, necessary opening few moments that we all got to share with one another. Now we can share our game picks and play Scotty Says and all the things that make game day fun in downtown Madison. ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay live from Regent Street. While we were emotion dumping there, a bunch of fans have entered our tailgate here on Regent Street. Everybody's got Coors Lights in hand. North and South Seafood and Smokehouse providing this outstanding spread. Again, like, this is just a wonderful, wonderful day here in downtown Madison for us to enjoy the number one ranked team in the country coming for a college football Saturday. ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay rolls on. We'll get to our game picks coming up next. For a limited time at TPC Wisconsin, enjoy full golf privileges and all club amenities without full dues. Pay just $150 per month through March with no golf dues until April 1st. What a deal. Submit a membership inquiry at tpcwisconsin.com and start enjoying the private golf club experience that you deserve at TPC Wisconsin. Our game day promise to you, no matter what the state of the program is, our game picks right away on the ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay pregame show. We'll get to those next.
Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison is throwing the Halloween party of the year. Join the fun Friday, October 31st at our Halloween Bonanza Costume Contest. We're giving away $6,000 in cash prizes at our 9 p.m. drawing. But get creative because the better the costume, the bigger the prize. You'll also enjoy a DJ, a free photo booth, a treat bag with a free drink ticket, plus $10 in rewards play when you arrive wearing a costume. Bring your Halloween spirit to
Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison.
Every event tells a story, from the first impression to the final moments. Have someone guide your guests through every chapter the way you want the story told. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With a strong presence, great voices, and an award-winning team, trust us to guide, direct, and inform your guests through all the different chapters of the day. For fun, memorable entertainment for any event, please visit us at celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
You're only minutes away from a better buying experience at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb. Jim Rutledge here. What is a better buying experience? Well, that's the thing. You get to define it. It is the experience that is customized to you. What experience do you want at a car dealership? They can be your trusted friend or your trusted expert. So if you're in the market for a new or new-to-you Silverado, Colorado, Blazer, Trailblazer, remember, you're only minutes away from a better buying experience. And that's at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb.
Are you living with hip pain? Join Stoughton Health's Ortho Teen Clinic for a free online talk with orthopedic surgeon Dr. Joseph Henningsen. He'll discuss the causes of hip pain and share both surgical and non-surgical treatment options to help you find relief and get back to an active lifestyle. The session will be held Tuesday, October 28th from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. Register today at stoughtonhealth.com under classes and events. Don't miss this opportunity to take the first step toward relief.
In the next 30 seconds, I'm going to tell you how to save money and save the planet. It's simple. Ditch your energy bill and make the switch over to Everlight Solar. While electricity prices keep rising, Everlight Solar will give you the chance to take ownership of your power while also reducing your carbon footprint. As a local company based out of Madison, they'll be there with you every step of the way as you make the switch to solar. To learn more about how you can save money and save the planet, go to everlightsolar.com.
Hi, it's Jason Wilde from Wilde & Tausch, inviting you to join me July 5th on a journey through the lovely landscapes of England, Scotland, and Wales with Colette. We'll take in the charm of the countryside and the history of the great cities. Imagine standing before Big Ben in London, then later gazing out from Edinburgh Castle. So rich in history, it feels like you're stepping back in time. Along the way, we'll explore the storybook villages of Chester and Shakespeare's Stratford-upon-Avon, places where every street seems to whisper a piece of history. And how about a scenic train ride through the rolling green hills that lead us right into the medieval city of York? It's all part of this incredible journey. From iconic landmarks to cozy villages, from bustling city streets to peaceful countryside views, you'll experience the very best of Britain's history, culture, and beauty, and create memories that last a lifetime. To learn more about this amazing adventure, text TRAVEL to 844-770-3776 or visit ESPNMilwaukeeTravel.com for full details.
Badgers volleyball insights straight from the man on the sidelines.
There'll be aspects of what we're doing offensively that our teams have not done before.
Tune into the Kelly Sheffield Show on ESPN Medicine, presented by North and South Seafood and Smokehouse.
The hardest ticket in town is for the volleyball match in the field house. I mean, that's really hard.
It's the Kelly Sheffield Show with Badgers volleyball head coach Kelly Sheffield and host John Audius on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Hey Madison, it's Rich Eisen, and now you can hear the Rich Eisen Show on ESPN Radio in the second best college town in the world. Sorry, Badgers fans. I mean, I am a Michigan man. The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays noon to 2, right here on 100.5 ESPN.
ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day live from Regent Street as we continue the countdown to kickoff at Camp Randall Stadium between the Wisconsin Badgers and the number 1 ranked Ohio State Buckeyes. 2 Ohio State players in the top 4, according to ESPN Bet, for the odds to win the Heisman Trophy this year. Quarterback Julian Sayin and wide receiver Jeremiah Smith. Good luck to Wisconsin today. We're counting down to kickoff, and we're going to have some fun on a game day in downtown Madison, because that's what we do, including with all this great food from Liberty Station in hand. Our friends at Liberty Station provide the catering here at ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay. All kinds of fans with the mac and cheese and the pulled pork and the coleslaw and all the delicious things that they have to offer. Plus, they bring the best deal in sports every home game, Mertzy. The bus just rolled by. They drop them off like right here, right by our tailgate.
Amazing.
You can go over to Liberty Station, which is on the west side of Madison, if you're not familiar. And instead of worrying, like I did today, about trying to find a parking space all around the greater Camp Randall area, you just park at Liberty Station. You pay $20. You get a Coors Light in hand, and they give you the shuttle ride right down here to Regent Street, where it's an easy walk over to the stadium. Best deal in sports every Badgers home game. It all starts at Liberty Station American Tavern and Smokehouse, located off the Beltline on Rimrock Road. While we work through some technical things here with Brad's video feed, come on, Brad. The family's sick. Your technical issues don't have to get in the way of things too here. I know you're having a rough day enough as it is, so let's work on that, buddy. We are going to wait on sharing our game picks. I know everyone's on pins and needles wondering what we're going to share.
It could go either way.
We're all going to pick them to lose. Just you can stick around for the next segment. I'll tell you, no one's picking Wisconsin to win this game. Maybe Riley. He's very optimistic back in our producer of the pregame show, and he hosts the postgame show back in the Everlight Solar Studio at ESPN Madison. So what I want to do first is talk about the glory days. Mertzy, you were in attendance last night as a guest of honor.
I don't know about that.
A +1 of a guest of honor?
Plus one of a guest of honor, yeah.
For the Rose Bowl celebration. They are celebrating the 3 Rose Bowls won in the 90s today at Camp Randall Stadium. So those great teams from 1994, 1998, 1999, like they're all here. They're all ready to celebrate. I saw Tausch was sending some pictures to us from the celebrations last night. You had plenty to share. How fun is this to, in a season that is not ideal for Wisconsin football fans, to look back and remember some of the return to glory that this program had under Barry Alvarez's leadership 20 years ago?
Yeah, and obviously the juxtaposition today is difficult. They're going to bring those players onto the field at halftime, and you just hope that the Badgers can keep this game in check enough so that it feels some level of festivity out there for these guys. And I think of this crew, now that a little bit more time has passed, when I was growing up and the Packers were in some dark days, all you heard about was Lombardi era, Jerry Kramer, go down the list of guys, Bart Starr, obviously, and these legends, and it kept continuing. And you had this idea in your head that if the Packers had done it once, they could do it again. They could figure out a way to do it, and when that moment came, it was going to feel that much better for what you had gone through. I sure hope that the Badgers are not wandering in the desert for as many years as the Packers did, but this is the most challenging time that had in this program for 30 years. We're looking at late 80s. Don Morton. My dad went here as a grad student in the late 60s. They lost, I believe it was 20 or 23 straight games, a couple of winless seasons. There's been some dark periods. There's also been some brilliant periods in Badger football history. I'm so glad that they're celebrating these guys today, that they have them all together. I think that's so important. It represents the core, those guys that put blood, sweat, and tears into building something here that hopefully the Badgers can get back to sooner than later.
I don't know if you heard, this was supposed to be the better vibe segment, Mertzy, and I was trying to be like, Rose Bowl, winning. Right. And I got to admit, I dated myself there. I said 20 years ago. It's 30 years ago that Barry Alvarez led these Rose Bowl championship teams. Brad, you know that because these were the teams that, like, you and I are about the same age. We grew up watching some of these teams, and it's, what inspired us, and you more successfully, to want to go play for the University of Wisconsin.
Yeah, those were in the 99 and 2000. Those are like core memories for me. So those early on, I have like this view of what the Rose Bowl is and what that means for me. And just I can see my little self watching it. California, Pasadena, the whole thing. So I've told this on air before, but when I committed to Wisconsin, we were my freshman year, we were ranked 4th in the country preseason, and that was the year we were 7-6. We struggled, way underperformed expectations, and I saw in like Phil Steele's season preview that Wisconsin was going to play, like, predicted to play USC in the Rose Bowl. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to play in a Rose Bowl. But obviously we struggled and all expectations were dashed. But thinking about my years that got there, obviously the current college football playoff, it's not the same. Sorry, what the Rose Bowl means and all the things. But those were just marquee years, not only in my life, but obviously for the team. And there was a togetherness that we experienced. There was a joy playing together. And you looked around the team, and there was just a ton of NFL players playing on those teams. So, I appreciate this too, that each year, I know my second year when we had Russell Wilson and all that, we were ranked pretty high preseason, but particularly the first Rose Bowl. We entered that year coming off of a 10-win year where we beat Miami in the Champs Sports Bowl. And even going in, we were like the classic ranked 18th, ranked 24th Wisconsin football team. So we weren't expected to beat Ohio State, to beat Iowa, and to, even Michigan State. Michigan State was unbelievable at the time. We weren't expected to win the Big Ten. That was such a special year where we're sort of a backs against the wall. Nobody believes in us. And the ascent up the mountain was really joyful. And one of those marquee moments was beating number 1 Ohio State. So, those Rose Bowl teams, I think everybody almost has like a relationship with those teams, right? Like just how I talked about core memories of those early, all 3 Barry Rose Bowl teams. We talk about, you remember where you were those seasons, and those were amongst the most joyful, fun I've ever had as a football player. And I think that every Wisconsin Badger football fan I talk to, they almost have like a personal relationship with those teams. And that just brings me so much excitement whenever I get to talk about it. And there's a connectivity that we all have remembering those years.
Yeah, absolutely, Brad. And, my connectivity and the reason why I was at that soiree last night was that I had 2 college roommates, including a guy that I grew up with, former host of this show, Phil Chavez, who played linebacker here as a walk-on, and Chris Kennedy from Wanakee as a walk-on wide receiver. When it meant a lot to be a walk-on at Wisconsin, and you gave your heart and soul to that program. And it was an amazing journey being here that first 4 years of Alvarez and seeing him transform that program. You remember, like in the late 80s, guys wouldn't wear their leather jackets around campus. It was not a badge of honor to be part of the football team here. It was really, really rough. Got a lot of good players. They had, think about like Troy Vincent suffering through those teams. These guys built that from the ground up. And you think about Joe Panos with his "Why Not Wisconsin" quote at midseason in '93, and it was just an amazing moment, an amazing time to see Barry Alvarez selling blue sky, as he says, to kids. Come and be part of something, and let's make this magnificent here at Wisconsin. And they made it happen, and they made it last. And you can never take away what those guys accomplished.
And it'll be interesting to see, as you alluded to before, Mertzy, if that's something that will be able to be done in the near future once again for Wisconsin football after what's transpired here over the last half decade, honestly, now, going back before Luke Fickell. It kind of started transitioning this direction around the start of COVID, and it hasn't really bounced back yet. So looking forward to honoring the Rose Bowl teams. I know it means a lot to all the players that were, and everyone who's connected in any way to those programs from the 90s. So excited to see them honored today. And I'm actually excited. Tausch and LePay always are going to do a great job because of their connections to those teams, of course. Gary Danielson and Brad Nessler on the call on CBS have a direct connect. They called a lot of those games in those times. So it'll be fun to hear what they say on the TV broadcast if you're watching it on CBS today as well. 2:30 kickoff, Wisconsin and Ohio State. The line escapes me. Ohio State's the number 1 team. I'm kidding.
The line would be 25.5.
Riley, I know what the line is. I was trying to avoid telling everybody what it was.
Well,
dang it.
Sorry. My job is to provide pertinent information, and it seemed like there needed to be information provided.
I'm going to provide pertinent information telling everyone about Bruner Realty right now is what I'm going to do. If you've been waiting to buy your next home, do it today during the game. Now is the time to get housed. For over 30 years, Bruner Realty has been providing excellent real estate and property management services in the Madison area. Contact their team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to get started today. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. Stacy Bruner is the realtor that my wife Beck and I, who is here at the tailgate along with my Uncle Mike, is here. He's an Ohio State fan.
Nice.
Beck and I trusted Stacy Bruner with our home buying process 3 years ago. He was absolutely incredible to work with. Communication is outstanding. Knew exactly what we were looking for. Helped us go through the entire process. He was magnificent, and we're still pals. Ran into him at a tailgate getting ready for NLDS Game 2. And we're buying drinks for each other across the bar, getting ready to take a shuttle into AmFam Field. Stacy Bruner's the absolute best. And you talk about Rose Bowl memories, being Bucky Badger at the Rose Bowl. Wasn't those 90s teams.
Yeah.
It was a little later than that. But
awesome.
Pretty awesome for Stacy Bruner and the team at Bruner Realty. All right. We are going to get to our game picks for today coming up next. I promise you that. It's ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay live from Regent Street, brewed by Coors Light.
The countdown to kickoff continues next. You're listening to ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay.
Planning a corporate event, private party, or team outing? Madison acts as your state-of-the-art entertainment spot. Whoa, you nailed it! Featuring 8 lanes of axe throwing, craft beer, and interactive games, plus digital target projection and scoring. For even more fun, check out their indoor backyard. 2,000 square feet of shuffleboard, cornhole, yard games, bar table games, and more. Book your corporate event or holiday party now, before their lanes fill up. Go to MadisonAxe.com or head to their location on Stoughton Road today.
Hi, Dave from Canopy Wealth Management here. Our balanced approach helps guide you through a complex and ever-changing landscape. Throughout your family's financial planning journey, we will serve as a partner, advocate, and steward in all aspects to help you achieve your goals with confidence. At Canopy, care, competence, and clarity, it's not just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started today. That's canopy-wealth.com.
Start your career where the road to success is paved in coffee. At Dunkin' Donuts, we're now hiring crew members and hourly shift leaders at our locally owned locations. Dunkin' offers flexible schedules, employee discounts, health and dental benefits, and paid time off. Plus, bolster your resume with our own leadership training program and even scholarship opportunities. Up to $1,500 per semester. Text Team Spirit to 85000 or visit teamtmart.com/careers to apply. Dunkin', America runs on you.
Have you been waiting to buy your next home? Stop. Now is the time to get housed. What's up, Madison? It's Stacy from Bruner Realty. Nobody has a crystal ball to know what the future holds. The longer you wait to find your next home, the better the chance you'll be paying more for it than you would be today. Don't miss out on what could be the best opportunity to find your dream home. Contact our team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to help start your search. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. Let's get housed.
Attention business owners and executives. Looking for a bank that's invested in your community as you are? Look no further than Starion Bank. As a Dane County community bank, Starion offers competitive deposit and loan rates while actively supporting local initiatives. Visit a business banker at one of our convenient branches in Middleton, Monona, and Sun Prairie. Starion Bank, full-service business banking, lending, and cash management.
It's the best time of the year, and you know what that means for me. It's tailgating season. Hey, it's Alex Stroh. For my friends at Door County Distillery, locally produced, handcrafted, award-winning spirits made locally in beautiful Door County. If you're in Madison tailgating before a game, there's only one thing to do to elevate your experience, and that's bring it with Door County Distillery. Whether that's the cherry brandy for your old-fashioned, the single malt whiskey, or any of the gins, vodkas, and in-betweens, Door County Distillery has you covered. Find the retailer nearest you at doorcountydistillery.com.
The savings are scary good at Metro Kia of Madison this month. Get behind the wheel of a 2026 Kia Sportage for just 1.9% APR for 48 months. Only $21.47 per month per $1,000 financed. Or go electric in the 2025 Kia EV6 with a shocking 0% APR for 72 months. Just $38.89 per thousand financed. But hurry, these frightfully good offers disappear after November 3rd. Visit MetroKiaofMadison.com today. Played like a pro but felt like an amateur? Twisted your ankle or jammed a finger under the Friday night lights? At Orthopedic and Spine Centers of Wisconsin, their Saturday Sports Injury Clinic has you covered. Skip the emergency room circus, dodge the waiting room sitcom, and get expert care from the pros who actually know sports injuries. Saturdays, 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Walk into their location off the Beltline and get back in the game. Orthopedic and Spine Centers of Wisconsin, your comeback starts here.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable just to you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today.
I'm told Glory Days.
I love this. Perfect.
Is the Brewers' victory song, so it makes no sense that we're playing this. But I guess it does because Riley is our producer back in the Everlight Solar Studio at ESPN Madison. It's ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay. Jesse Nelson, Adam Mertz, joining us remotely, Brad Nortman, the former Badger punter, and Riley hosts our postgame show after each game with Corey Sparks. Riley, you were at a wedding last night that apparently this was a banger that got the kids out on the dance floor.
Yes, yes, it was. And it was kind of sad because the bride and the groom are both massive Brewers fans, and they had this planned as the very last song of the night. And that happened after the Brewers season had ended. So everyone obviously very happy for the wedding. It was a fantastic night. But yeah, as this song was playing, we were just like, damn, season's over.
Tough weekend for Wisconsin sports teams against teams with OH. Whether it's Ohio State or Otani. Thank you. Appreciate it. Had that one cooked up for a while. Thank you. Appreciate it. I'll be here all day. ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day. Time now for our picks brought to you by Pepsi, a proud partner of the Wisconsin Badgers. Get game day ready with Pepsi. The taste that scores every time. Try Pepsi Zero Sugar, the perfect drink for your tailgate party and as a tasty mixer on Wisconsin. And make sure you're game day ready with Pepsi. Let's get to our game picks.
Will we be jumping around?
Big win for Luke Fickell and Wisconsin.
Or will it be heartbreak for the Badgers?
Feel bad for the Badgers. They gave it their all. One too many mistakes.
It's time to make our picks on ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day.
Riley, let's update that for next week. I don't think we need to ask the question anymore at the start of that.
Yeah, you're not wrong, unfortunately. And I love we have Jeff Levering. I'm shocked that this exists, that there is a line saying big win for Luke Fickell and the Wisconsin Badgers because it hasn't happened often, that's for sure.
When was that? Minnesota at the end of the first year?
That was Rutgers from last year.
Oh, yeah, that was a fun game.
5-2, the 5-2 Badgers.
That memory.
Yeah. There was hope then.
Yeah. Definitely thought we were going to a bowl at that point.
All right, game picks. We always do them in the first hour of ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day. They are powered by Pepsi. I turn it over to the former Badger, Brad Nortman. You have first dibs. What is your official game pick for Wisconsin and number 1 Ohio State today?
Well, guys, it's almost exactly 15 years to the day that number 1 Ohio State rolled into Camp Randall, and we pulled off the upset. I was on that team. And, everyone was counting us out, too, wondering, this Ohio State team, they're bound for a national championship. Wisconsin, and you know what? They had a bunch of All-Americans, too. This Ohio State team, they got Jeremiah Smith and Caleb Downs. And I will say, their quarterback, last name, Julius Sayin. How many good phrases could you make with the last name of Sayin? So, big underdog, so will we. Will Badgers be able to pull the upset? No, they will not. I'm saying that it's going to be 49-0. I don't think.
Oh my God!
49-0. That's 7 touchdowns for the mathematicians out there. Guys, listen to this stat from Ohio State. They have not allowed. They haven't played jumps. They haven't allowed a first half touchdown all year. Number 1 defense in all of college football against maybe the most hapless offense we've ever seen. I know in my life I've ever seen for the University of Wisconsin. I think it would be a success if Wisconsin even crosses the 40-yard line. I think to even get into field goal range, if you have a field goal attempt I would say that is something you can hang your hat on, because this is going to be a lopsided victory. Maybe the defense can be feisty for a minute, but there's just too much horsepower. There's too much greatness. There is no area. I don't care if you go cellular or if you go from a grand 3,000-foot view. Wisconsin has no advantages in this game. Not even the home field advantage of Camp Randall Field. That is a day in the past. So 49-0, Ohio State. The onslaught continues. Now, before I'm done, you guys should be lucky that I didn't do 63-0. I wanted a 100-0 over the last 2 weeks. I was tempted to do it, but I'm not that cool. 49-0 Ohio State.
63 would be the magic number to get them to 100-0 in 2 games. Okay. I got to admit, so I don't know exactly how the prediction game went last week. I'm sure everyone like me thought it would be closer than it ended up being. I'm not sure in the history of ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay, and this show goes back before ESPN Madison existed, when we were 100X in Madison. The Badgers always, they were always, you thought they had a chance. Always. A former player is predicting they're going to lose 49-0 and describing today as a success if they get to the 40-yard line. That's not even field goal range.
That's where we're at. Man.
That would be a long field goal, but yes.
Amazing.
Oh my God. All right. Mertzy? How do I top that? It's a tough act to follow.
I know. Why do you build me up, Brad Buttercup, me at the beginning there, talking about past glory and then just letting it all unravel?
He goes, we were underdogs. That team had All-Americans. Brad, you were like 18th ranked in the country going into that game. Let's not pretend like you had no shot to win this thing.
It's a little bit of showmanship.
That's right. Uh-huh. You know, I'm a sick person, but I love college football enough that I think that people are missing out if they don't take advantage of the $14 ticket offer to come down to Camp Randall Stadium today and watch this game, because you're watching just an amazing program in Ohio State. You got to give it up for them, what they've accomplished, especially looking back at last year and losing that Michigan game and thinking is Ryan Day toast? And they go and march ferociously to the national title. And they're back reloaded this year after losing all those guys who came back for that one shot. They've just reloaded. I saw their roster is estimated value of $35 million this year that they're paying out. I mean, it's big money, and it's big boy football. So I would encourage anyone who just has not been in this environment, pick up a late ticket and come down and watch Ohio State play. I mean, honestly, that's what I'm selling right now. Brad, you said everything that we needed to know. This star-studded Ohio State defense, especially. You got Caleb Downs back there. This X factor that's really appreciated. Caden Curry up front. They got 2 great linebackers. This is going to be one of those games where I just hope that it's a slow boa constrictor death, frankly. I think that's what Wisconsin has to shoot for, is to stretch this game out, get some early success, keep this game interesting for a while, and give yourself something to build off of. If you get steamrolled again today and you're headed to number 1 Oregon next week, this thing, if it's not off the rails, it's teetering, give yourself something to play for in the second half today. I'm wondering how much the fickle factor comes into play of Ryan Day not wanting to layer it on to a Buckeyes legend, and I don't want to overestimate that. They're not going to take it easy on Wisconsin, but I do think that they may take the gas pedal off after they've built a comfortable lead, which is why I'm picking Ohio State 43-3, and I'm not sure where the 3 is coming from.
Fickle may give it his all today, applying for a assistant role with Ohio State again next year.
Wow.
So might
you ain't wrong.
Give it a little extra here today. Riley Auk hosts our post-game show immediately after the final whistle. Riley, what's your official prediction for what kind of game you'll be talking about today?
Yeah, pretty similar to what Mertzy and Brad are expecting. I'm really excited to see Jeremiah Smith play today. He's currently 4th in Heisman odds, and Carson Beck just had an awful performance last night, throwing 4 interceptions. So I think Ohio State may try and use this as an opportunity to pump his numbers up, get him a 300-yard, 4-touchdown game, because you know it's possible. You know it's possible against the secondary. So I'm excited to see him play. And I talked to some of the guys on Tuesday from this Wisconsin Badgers team at player availability, and
I thought it might have been like a support group or something.
No, they need one, though. They need one, and they're just so down in the dumps, which is understandable. But you can just feel that there's no confidence. Like you said, Brad, it doesn't seem like they're having fun. They're not complaining, which I was told, which is awesome, and I'm really happy that they're not complaining. And they're trying to, that the leaders are still putting on a brave face, but I think this team is just too far gone at this point. My official prediction, Ohio State 56, and Wisconsin puts up 10 on the third stringers late in garbage time. 56-10, my final score prediction today.
A remarkable showing to get 10 points.
That it would. I'm still being optimistic. Still believing.
For my official game pick, I'm going to recruit the services from our partners at Dunkin'. Providing coffee and donuts and all kinds of wonderful things here at the ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay tailgate. You know we love Dunkin'. We've got a whole box, Mertz, here of glazed blueberry donuts, new from Dunkin', available for us here. Brad, you're missing out by not being here
for our YouTube audience.
You're missing out. But I don't think Wisconsin scores at all. 0 points for Wisconsin today as we celebrate a glazed blueberry donut. 0 for the Badgers today. I picked them on the graphic to get 38-3, but I changed my mind. We're not scoring 3 points. 38-0. Wisconsin falls to the Ohio State Buckeyes. That's my official prediction today.
Jesse.
0 points for the Badgers. Thanks to the assist from our friends at Dunkin' for my official game pick there. Those are our picks. ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay, brewed by Coors Light. We're also brought to you in part by Badgerland Exteriors. Looking for a reliable roofing and home restoration company in Wisconsin? Badgerland Exteriors is here to help. Residential and commercial roofing, siding, and solar. Badgerland Exteriors has you covered. Visit BadgerlandExteriors.com to get started on your next project. Brad Nortman is going to leave us a little bit early today on the pregame show because he's picking them to lose 49-0. He's like, I got better things to do. So coming up in the next segment, we're going to hear Brad's final thoughts on today's game. And I do want to walk down memory lane a little more extensively, Brad, for the game that Wisconsin defeated Ohio State that you were a part of in 2010 as we're celebrating kind of the reflection 15 years later of that game in addition to the Rose Bowl championships as well this week, given the timing of it. So I'm going to enjoy this glazed blueberry donut from Dunkin', and then we'll be back right after this to hear more from Brad Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay, live from Regent Street, brewed by Coors Light.
The countdown to kickoff continues next. You're listening to ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay. Badgers volleyball insights straight from the man on the sidelines.
There'll be aspects of what we're doing offensively that our teams have not done before.
Tune into the Kelly Sheffield Show on ESPN Medicine, presented by North and South Seafood and Smokehouse.
The hardest ticket in town is for the volleyball match in the field house. I mean, that's really hard.
It's the Kelly Sheffield Show with Badgers volleyball head coach Kelly Sheffield and host John Audius on 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Want to join the fastest growing home solar company in the nation and work in the fastest growing industry in the world? Everlight Solar has open positions in the Madison area and in their newly opened Milwaukee location. As Wisconsin's largest home solar company, Everlight Solar offers great opportunities to gain new skills and advance your career. Don't miss the chance to join the Everlight Solar team. Visit everlightsolar.com to apply today. Save money, save the planet, and start with Everlight Solar.
Looking to join an international quality golf club right here in Madison? For a limited time at TPC Wisconsin, enjoy full golf privileges and all club amenities without full dues. Pay just $150 per month through March to maintain your full golf membership with no golf dues until April 1st. Don't miss out on this limited time offer. Schedule a tour or submit a membership inquiry at tpcwisconsin.com and start enjoying the private golf club experience you deserve. That's tpcwisconsin.com.
You hear that? That's the sound of Pepsi Zero Sugar, the better tasting, more refreshing Zero Sugar Cola. Listen to that endless pour. Pure refreshment. If it sounds this good, just imagine how it tastes. Oh yeah, so good. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Let your taste decide.
Buck and Honey's is Best of Madison. A huge thank you to everyone who voted in this year's Best of Madison Awards presented by Madison Magazine. Buck and Honey's is beyond grateful to have won gold for Best Restaurant, Best Catering, Best Outdoor Dining, and Best Bartender with Dion Russ in Monona. We could not do it without our loyal guests who support us every single day, and of course, our amazing team members who celebrate Wisconsin hospitality with pride. From all of us at Buck and Honey's, thank you, and I'll see you at Buck and Honey's.
James Imaging Systems, the best document imaging technology, the best local service, and perhaps best of all, the very best people. People you can count on. People you can trust. That's all important to Amanda Burian, office manager with Covenant Lutheran Church.
Absolutely. I think that having their reliability, I think just having them as a teammate and a partner.
James Imaging Systems, partnering with local businesses and organizations to help them be more productive and more efficient.
You don't have to worry about the printing, the ink. You don't have to worry about the copier. They take care of all of it.
Saving the church money?
It's definitely a savings.
One last question, Amanda. Would you recommend James to others?
I would definitely recommend James Imaging.
James Imaging Systems, AI-driven workflow automation, security enhancements, digital transformation. Call 608-221-3457. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
Want to move better, play faster, and compete at a higher level? Train where Wisconsin's top athletes go. Total Athlete Performance. From middle school phenoms to the pros, TAP is Madison's #1 destination for speed, power, and athleticism. Their proven systems, expert coaches, and cutting-edge equipment help you dominate your sport. Can't make it in? Train anywhere with the TAP mobile app. Spots are filling fast, so don't wait. Visit tapwisconsin.com to schedule your free athletic assessment today.
Hi, this is Dave Kane. You're listening to Madison's Home of the Bucks, a good Karma brand radio station, 100.5 ESPN WTLX, Monona, Madison.
ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day, brewed by Coors Light, live from Regent Street as we get you set for #1 Ohio State and the Wisconsin Badgers at Camp Randall Stadium, 2:30 kickoff on CBS. Jesse Nelson, Adam Mertz, former Badgers punter Brad Nortman, and our producer Riley Yauk, who hosts the ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day postgame show back in the Everlight Solar Studio at ESPN Madison. Time now for a quick check of the injury report brought to you by Orthopedic and Spine Centers of Wisconsin. Their Saturday sports clinic has you covered. Skip the emergency room circus and get expert care from the pros who know sports injuries. Walk in any Saturday from 9 to 11:30 a.m. at their location off the Beltline and get back in the game with Orthopedic and Spine Centers of Wisconsin. This is not a good-looking injury report, Adam Mertz. Brad Nortman, have a listen. Tyrell Henry, Deani Hill, Darian Dupree, Billy Edwards, Joseph Griffin Jr., Preston Zachman, Evan Vandenhoven, Kevin Haywood, Leighton Nelson, Barrett Nelson, Ernest Willer Jr., and Torrin Petaway all officially out today for the Badgers. Some of those we already knew. Questionable, Tretch Kekahuna, and Tucker Ashcraft. I'm not sure if any of those guys were playing that it would make that much of a difference, but Brad Nortman, when you hear the injury report there, brought to you by the Orthopedic and Spine Centers of Wisconsin, what you thinking?
No pun intended. I'm thinking, ouch. I'm thinking that a lopsided game.
There's a little pun intended. Don't lie to everyone.
Yeah. Okay. You know I love a good pun. Ouch. That hurts everywhere. And what's already a lopsided. I'm not sure the Badgers #1s are even as good as the Ohio State 3s. So I don't even know if it really matters, as you said, Jesse. But it just continues to pour on hope. As I'm thinking through that, if I was a player, I would be really tempted to, if I had a ding, to really, be second, think twice on if I want to go out there and take the field. Why would I want to risk further injury when you're clearly playing for nothing, playing for a coaching staff that's likely headed for the door, and a bunch of your teammates also doing that, just in this transfer NIL, environment. That's what makes me think. I'm not questioning anyone's injuries, but if I was 50-50, I would probably be already thinking the next year, which is my biggest fear with this team. Not only do they have no culture, not only do they have no identity, and they're not very good, any of the solid players, they're probably tempted to start thinking to 2026, and so this is only going to get worse. So again, I'm not saying that about their injury report. I'm just saying in this culture, that would be a temptation.
Yeah, Brad, I know that's always my concern on a losing team. The injuries start mounting. And, some of it, I think back to a couple of guys who are on that injury report, Darian Dupree especially, was almost like self-negligence by the Badgers. He got hurt on a really bad decision by Hunter Simmons. And you feel terrible when something like that happens. Dupree out, Tretch questionable. You're kind of taking away a lot of whatever weaponry that you had out there to give that offense to try to move the ball. That's a really disheartening injury report. No more comment, Jesse?
Yep, nothing further to be said. Billy Edwards also out again this week. That's not surprising at this point, but it's disappointing. And I think when we measure the scope of this season, Hunter Simmons and Danny O'Neal have not been able to step in the way that they've been needed to this year. And some of that is on coaching, but also this is more bad luck, and it's not the only reason the Luke Fickell era has not gone according to plan, but it is a factor that the backup quarterbacks have played so much and just haven't been able to deliver, stepping in against some stellar competition in the Big Ten.
It's a sizable factor. I don't want to discount it. It's not an apology. It's the reality. That doesn't happen in a lot of programs, and there's not a Trinidad Chambliss sitting on the bench like at Ole Miss that can come in and throw 385 when the starter goes out, or Texas Tech. Look at their backup, what he's done when Barron Morton's been down. So, there's just not that kind of depth here. And I was thinking to myself, what's something that can save this season, and where can you build on? And in my mind, the only card that is up Luke Fickell's sleeve right now is if Billy Edwards somehow gets healthy, and you've got someone out there who can throw the ball around. I don't know what his motivation level is right now to get back on the field if he's not 100%. Thinking about a guy that you kind of, in this day and age, you have to look out for your best self-interest.
Well, especially after coming back for one quarter and then re-aggravating the injury in the loss to Maryland. There's no doubt about that. Brad, before we depart for your portion of the pregame show here today on ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay, 15 years ago this week, the Wisconsin Badgers, with David Gilreath from the 3, were able to take it all the way down the field for the opening kickoff and stun the number 1 Ohio State Buckeyes. You were part of that team. I was in college at the time. Many of my friends were freshmen at the University of Wisconsin, storming the field at Camp Randall Stadium. They still talk about how magical that night was. For you as a player, can you just share with everyone listening now what your experience was like that night and where that stands for you in the scope of your playing career, pro, college, wherever? How significant that is on your list.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully this brings a smile to a lot of Badger fans' faces. I know it does for me. Before talking about that game in 2010, the game in 2009, we lost to Ohio State. It was 31-13. So at Ohio State, so it felt lopsided from a final score perspective. But guys, they had a kickoff return for a touchdown, and there were 2 pick sixes, and we had a missed field goal. We felt like we left Columbus saying we can compete with these guys. That score does not reflect what it was. So you fast forward, more maturity, more guys continuing to grow in their careers. In that 2010 season, we felt like we knew we had a really good team. Leading up to that week, obviously you're right, Jesse, we were undefeated. We were 18th in the country, and Ohio State was number 1. You hear on Sunday morning, College GameDay is going to be in Madison. And we got chills. I mean, the life during practice, the excitement level, I can't even describe it. I've never been a part of something like that before, but there was a steadiness. There was no doubt. There was absolutely no doubt in my mind that we could compete with them. And if you look at how the game unfolded, right, we walk around. So for people that don't know, for a night game, to change things up, you leave the hotel. So we went and we walked around Camp Randall, and I believe for that, I think they were on Bascom Hill. It was when we played Nebraska. I think they set up at Camp Randall the next year. But we do our walk around, and guys were loose. Guys were confident. We felt good. We were so eager, but when we drove the buses through Madison at around noon, Oh my gosh, guys! The city was buzzing. We got chills. We got absolute chills. So when we took the field, there was a steadiness, there was a confidence, and obviously we know that David Gilreath took that kickoff return back for a touchdown. I'm not sure I've ever heard a stadium so loud than that moment. I'm talking about NFL playoff games. I'm talking about on the road. That was a roar that I don't think I've ever heard recreated before, during, or after that moment. But it wasn't just about that moment. I think that introduced doubt, and it had like a holy cow moment. We know we can do this. But what happened next? They went 3 and out after we thumped them at the line of scrimmage, and then you go all the way down the field with about 7 run plays and 1 throwing it, where you just said, we're just going to hand the ball to John Clay and Monte Ball and James White, and we're just going to overpower you. Why did we do that? Because we had an identity. We had a culture. We knew that maybe we can't beat them with speed, but we know we can compete with anybody, and that includes Ohio State in this area, and we're going to tilt the game in our favor in order to do that. So I think once we were up 14-0, I mean, the cascade continued. That at halftime, when we were up at halftime, I mean, talk about a buzzing locker room. Guys were salivating to get back on the field. That hatred for Ohio State came out in full. And when it hit triple zeros, and you saw the fans come on the field, it's indescribable. It really is. I mean, to see all those people and to be in that chaos, that beautiful chaos, it was easily a top 5 moment for me in my entire football career. And I get chills even thinking about it. And then, the after party was a lot of fun too that night. For all those who could indulge as well. So it was from start to finish one of the most memorable weeks, days, and nights of my life. And days like that, we'll be talking about for decades. So I was just honored to be a part of it.
That's a good spot to leave, Brad, before he brings us down anymore, picking the Badgers to lose 49-0 today. Brad,
I have no defense for that score prediction.
In all seriousness, Brad, I'm glad you shared those memories, because everyone remembers David Gilreath with the opening kick return. But there was a lot of games still to be played after. Man. Like the Bears returned the opening kickoff in the Super Bowl. They didn't do anything after that, and they lost it big time. The Badgers returned the opening kickoff there, and it was the running backs. It was the defensive line. It was everybody that came to play that night. The punter was good, too. The punter was pretty good. Did you even punt that night?
I think I had a handful. I had 3.
Okay, all right. We'll check the stat line for it. Brad, thanks so much for your insights today. We miss you out here, buddy, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it. Go Badgers, even amongst the depressing nature of this game. Thanks. It'll always be a blast. I will see you guys next week.
Hear, hear. Brad Nortman. Kyle Bruston-Nortman, weekday afternoon starting at 2 o'clock on ESPN Wisconsin. Jesse Nelson, Adam Mertz, the pregame show continues. We're with you till 2:30 live from Regent Street here at the Starion Bank broadcast booth. Experience a banking relationship where your goals are their priority. As a community bank with a commitment to Dane County, Starion Bank redefines local banking in the Madison area. Visit one of their convenient branches in Middleton, Sun Prairie, or Monona today or online at starionbank.com. We thank Starion Bank for their support of ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay all season long. Pre-game show continues. We're still going to hear from Barry Alvarez, Jim Rutledge of Jim, Matt, and Molly on ESPN Madison set to join us, and our national game picks, plus our final thoughts on whatever we're going to watch this afternoon at Camp Randall Stadium. That's all straight ahead on ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay, brewed by Coors Light.
The countdown to kickoff continues next. You're listening to ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay.
Hi, it's Jason Wilde from Wilde & Tausch, inviting you to join me July 5th on a journey through the lovely landscapes of England, Scotland, and Wales with Colette. We'll take in the charm of the countryside and the history of the great cities. Imagine standing before Big Ben in London, then later gazing out from Edinburgh Castle. So rich in history, it feels like you're stepping back in time. Along the way, we'll explore the storybook villages of Chester and Shakespeare's Stratford-upon-Avon, places where every street seems to whisper a piece of history. And how about a scenic train ride through the rolling green hills that lead us right into the medieval city of York? It's all part of this incredible journey. From iconic landmarks to cozy villages, from bustling city streets to peaceful countryside views, you'll experience the very best of Britain's history, culture, and beauty, and create memories that last a lifetime. To learn more about this amazing adventure, text TRAVEL to 844-770-3776 or visit ESPNMilwaukeeTravel.com for full details.
After a serious crash with a semi-truck, everything can change instantly. Your future, your family's future, your quality of life. That's why knowledge and results matter in big truck cases. And not all law firms have the know-how or the resources to handle these complicated cases. At Gruber Law Offices, we have the experience it takes to make sure you're protected. And there's never a fee until we win your case. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Start your career where the road to success is paved in coffee. At Dunkin' Donuts, we're now hiring crew members and hourly shift leaders at our locally owned locations. Dunkin' offers flexible schedules, employee discounts, health and dental benefits, and paid time off. Plus, bolster your resume with our own leadership training program and even scholarship opportunities. Up to $1,500 per semester. Text Team Spirit to 85000 or visit teamtmart.com/careers to apply. Dunkin', America runs on you.
It's frightening, but the rewards are thrilling if you're brave enough to enter the prize-filled graveyard at Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison. On Saturday, October 25th, 3 brave souls will enter the graveyard every half hour from 1 p.m. till 5. These 27 winners will each have a chance of escaping with $3,000 in cash. That's up to $81,000 in total prizes. So be here for Graveyard Grabs, the scariest game in town. Grab your friends and get to Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison.
Don't be haunted by high prices this Halloween. Metro Ford of Madison has frightfully good deals waiting just for you. Right now, drive home the all-new 2025 Ford F-150 or F-150 STX, or escape the ordinary in a 2025 Ford Escape, both with just 2.9% APR for up to 66 months, only $16.41 per month for $1,000 finance. But hurry, these scary good offers vanish November 3rd. Visit MetroFordofMadison.com today, where the deals are a treat, never a trick.
It takes a team to meet just about any goal, and that's as true on the football field as it is in the office. So it's good to know that you have the Gordon Flesh Company on your side. For more than 60 years, GFC has provided cutting-edge office technology for companies of all sizes, and as the nation's largest Canon dealer, GFC delivers the latest office technology, service, and is supported by the most experienced professionals in the industry. That's business technology managed. Visit gflesh.com to learn more.
The Bucky Badger Student Mascot Fund was created to support the amazing student athletes who bring the best mascot in the world to life. Hey, my name is Stacy Bruner. I was Bucky Badger from 2010 to 2014. My most memorable sports moment was running out the flag at the 2013 Rose Bowl versus Stanford. Your donation will help fund new scholarships to ensure that the rich tradition of Bucky lives on. Learn more at supportbucky.org. That's supportbucky.org.
On the air, on demand, on social, on Wisconsin Sports. Serving Wisconsin sports fans. This is 100.5 ESPN. From LA to Piscataway, this is your college football scoreboard update, driven by Metro Ford of Madison.
Good morning or afternoon, Wisconsin. My name is Riley Yauk, and this is your Metro Ford of Madison scoreboard update. Starting last night, some big ones, as the Louisville Cardinals move to 5-1 and 2-1 in the ACC with a massive 24-21 upset over the number 2 ranked Miami Hurricanes. Carson Beck, who was the Heisman frontrunner, threw 4 interceptions and no touchdowns. Then in the Big Ten last night, Minnesota with a shocking demolition of number 25 Nebraska. They beat Matt Rule's squad 24-6. Don't know if Matt Rule is going to be called by Penn State anytime soon after that. And going on right now, some big ones across the country. Number 17, Vanderbilt, up 31-21 over number 10, LSU on ABC. Georgia Tech, number 12, the Yellow Jackets. They are tied 10-10 with the Duke Blue Devils as that one enters the fourth quarter. And they are at halftime down in South Carolina, Columbia, as the 14th-ranked Oklahoma Sooners are looking to bounce back against the Gamecocks. They lead that one 14-7 at halftime.
Metro Ford of Madison, Madison's trusted Ford dealership. Learn more at metrofordofmadison.com.
ESPN Wisconsin College Game Day is presented by Coors Light, live from Regent Street as we continue the countdown to kickoff for the Wisconsin Badgers and number 1 ranked Ohio State Buckeyes. When you need to refresh on game day, choose a beer as cold as the Rockies. Cold filtered, cold lagered, cold packaged. For peak refreshment when the mountains are blue, Jim Rutledge, you know what to do.
And that's crush a Coors Light.
You don't get to do that very
often.
often.
I do not.
Well, not the crushing a Coors Light, the actually saying crushing Coors Light. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Usually you are the one who's asking Matt Hamilton and Molly Brown to chime in with you on that. Jim Rutledge, host of Jim, Matt, and Molly, weekday afternoons 4 to 6 on ESPN Madison, joins Adam Mertz and I here at our Regent Street tailgate in the Starion Bank broadcast booth as we continue to get set for Wisconsin and Ohio State. Jim, what do you want to talk about? Bears game tomorrow.
Yeah, that's exciting. The Cubs won more games in the postseason than the Brewers somehow.
Really?
I mean, your team lost to one guy yesterday.
I mean, we did lose to one guy. An all-time historic performance.
I mean, you guys beat us, but at least our loss won't be replayed in the annals of history forever.
Actually, Mark Tauscher said yesterday on Wilde and Tausch, because the weekend football slate was not a strong one, that he was going to watch Game 5 tonight, whether it was Brewers-Dodgers or he'll rewatch Game 5 Cubs-Brewers from last week. We'll find a way to turn that on as our evening entertainment.
You should just watch Game 4 because that was one of the most historic performances in the history of sports in Major League Baseball.
Shohei Ohtani was absolutely remarkable last night. I think we all can tip our cap.
I don't know what he's getting paid, but I don't think his actual pay this year was more than the Brewers' payroll, so I don't think they can use the payroll as a problem.
Oh, he's
lost to
only
one
paid
guy.
$2 million this
Yeah,
year.
yeah. So like that, what the hell? The Dodgers are Dodgers were underpaid that game. One guy beat them.
Yeah, it hurts. It hurts, but also you appreciate what we saw last night. I think everybody can understand that.
So I kind of view the Brewers season. If we're talking about it. It's like a great TV show with a terrible finale.
Yeah. And that most TV shows have that.
Yeah,
most people are not satisfied with the ending of their shows.
Well, that's a whole other story. Everyone, unless it ended specifically how you thought they were going to end it, you're mad about it. But like universally, it's like Seinfeld.
A whole lot of nothing. It ended with a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah, at the end of it, you're like, all right. I still like the rest of the episodes, but the finale, terrible.
It was a terrible finale, but it'll be talked about forever.
Yes.
If you're a Milwaukee Brewers fan. The Seinfeld finale is a great comparison. You should use that on Monday.
There you go. Well, please do.
Thanks for workshopping your material here. It'll take a Ohtani-like performance from Hunter Simmons to try and get Wisconsin a victory today.
Nice.
I try.
Who? Hunter Vaughn?
Hunter Simmons is the quarterback for the Wisconsin Badgers. He is starting again today.
Wait, what other position does he play, too?
Well, I mean, corner doesn't get much worse at this point if he wanted to give it a go.
Yeah.
Jim, you're going to the game?
I am.
Why?
I'm going to the press box. I don't know. I host a show called The Jump Around, 12:30 on ESPN Madison and ESPN Milwaukee's YouTube stations on Thursdays. So I don't know. I feel like I got to watch it. Most of the time we got a lucky job. And every once in a while I got to burn a Saturday, a gorgeous day in the press box, watching his team get shellacked. But there's worse things you could do.
In silence, too, in the press box.
Right.
Sit there and just appreciate instead of cheering or guffawing at what's going on.
What? They're not going to win the game. What are you looking for today that would give you any glimmer of optimism or hope or any positive emotion at all?
I mean, do I want hope? I mean, I honestly, at this point, want this team to get embarrassed. So there's no way they can talk themselves into keeping Luke Fickell. I mean, that's where I'm at. What do I want? It'd be terrible if they won or got a moral victory today. That's what they tried to do against Michigan. They're like, hey, you know what? We're getting the ball back with we're just in the fourth quarter. We'll just run a 7-minute drive like it's the first quarter and just burn out the clock because we know we're not going to win. But if someone glances back at the scorebook, they'll say, hey, they hung in against Michigan. Yeah. That's why I was pro-Michigan trying to tack on points at the end. I'm like, stick it to them. Just trying to make this look nicer than it is. So, and then Iowa didn't let them do it. So, I don't know. The whole mindset of this team is frustrating. And at this point, I want it to be no question about it. And this isn't personal with Luke Fickell because I think it's more than just him. But Luke Fickell's the head of the brand, and there's a brand problem. You cannot sell this organization, this brand to donors and everyone else with Luke Fickell coming back next year. So we have to make it very clear Luke Fickell cannot be the coach of the Badgers next year, which means they have to get housed tonight and next week, or today and next week and every other week going out.
Jim, Mertz, are we in agreement? Like, we don't see a change happening for the head coach before the end of the season at this point, right?
I don't feel like it's going to happen. I felt like if you wanted to make the change, if you wanted to send a message about where the program is headed and there's no confidence anymore, it would have been after that game against Iowa.
Well, I think Maryland or Iowa, either one.
But
Maryland is a little too early.
Maryland's early, and Iowa was the one that you put the focus point on as the coach, as the whole program. So when you do that and you flop, that's when it's like, okay, belief is gone at this point. Right now, it's kind of making him earn his money is how I feel about it. Like making him coach out the string, get your house in order. I think there's a lot that Mac and Chancellor Mnookin, there's a lot of thinking that has to go on here about where you want this program to head. And making a snap judgment feels good. It's not always the best way out of that hole.
Honestly, if I'm the Badgers, I'd be like, can we take $1 million off for every game we fire you? Like, to do you a favor? How about you quit? Because you don't want to do this, Luke. You want to go home. I heard, I don't know, reports, but it wasn't great for him at Edgewood Senior Day yesterday. And it's not. I'm not condoning that. Because for me, if you're going to rip on Fickell,
that's not fair.
At Camp Randall, on the radio, that's where you can do it. That's his office. You go to his office, you know what to expect. You listen to the radio, Luke can change the channel. With family stuff, it was a little bit
that's wrong.
A little far. But, I mean, that's where it's at right now for him. And I'm not excusing that, but if I'm Luke, he obviously doesn't want to finish it, and maybe the Badgers can use that. I'm not saying he's a quitter. I'm just saying that, like, if he knows it's done and the Badgers know it's done, maybe there's a way they can negotiate, like, hey, you can just get out of town and just go find a new job early, and maybe they can use that as a negotiating ploy to bring down some of that buyout.
Do you think there is a scenario where, I mean, the money is a big factor in this entire situation. Do you think there's any point where Fickell comes to the school and says, you know what, this isn't working for either of us very clearly. Like, it's probably best for both of us that I don't go out here and get beat up every weekend, and that this program is able to at least move on from me, and there's a mutual agreement. Like, he can still negotiate down the buyout, but it works best for both at one point here.
So here's where I'm coming from on this and my mindset of where he's at. Obviously, I don't disagree. I think that last Saturday's press conference told you everything that you needed to know. He sounded like he was an analyst versus a coach and just giving his objective point of view about where the season's is at. He's going to want to coach somewhere else. Even if he gets the paycheck and it comes out of his paycheck, he's going to want to coach somewhere else. He cannot leave this as his last coaching stop and what happened here. He's got to resurrect his image. I don't think that it's in his best interest to what I would call quitting on a team. I think that he's got to ride this season out, and he's taking the accountability. He's being respectful about it. It was a bad fit. He made bad decisions. Start over fresh somewhere. He bails. To me, that's a terrible look.
It is. That's what agents are for, though. I mean, if an agent wants to go through and be like, hey, like, we can, if you guys move on past Luke, I can help find him another job, and he can start working on that. We can work out this buyout, and like, so it never gets public. It's just one of those conversations where it's like, hey, we can work this out between friends. Because correct me if I'm wrong, the reporting around Paul Christ was that when Mac went and talked to Paul Christ, it wasn't to fire him.
Correct.
Paul went to quit,
right?
And Paul's like, and Mac's like, hold on, that's dumb. Let's make sure you get your money,
right?
So in this scenario, I could still see negotiating behind the scenes being like, hey, and maybe I know Fickell's close with Tressel, so maybe there's a way that they can kind of spin this and like Tressel gets, and not an audition for Wisconsin, but for somewhere else.
Sure.
And so like you might be able to behind the scenes massage your way out, because if the other part of it is if these kids are cooked and done, this is the hard part with NIL. Like,
yeah,
because I don't fault them, but if they're done and they're all going to leave, and now it's just like what do they call it, like quiet quitting, like in real life, like that's that's kind of what, and I don't blame them for it because that's the thing adults do. It's a little bit of quiet quitting from the players, and someone could get hurt or it could just get worse. What I mean, not to speculate, but Luke Fickell even kind of insinuated, like he said, I went and talked to Billy Edwards in the fourth quarter of the game. And then he walked that back, but he said, I want to see where his head is at, what he was willing to do. Well, that implied that Billy's not wanting to play anymore. And then we're very vague on it, and I don't blame Billy Edwards for not wanting to play.
Today,
he's out today. maybe he doesn't want to play anymore. That could be the same for Danny O'Neill, for all we know.
Yeah.
I don't know if he could save a red shirt, but Danny especially has somewhere to go. Billy Edwards might be able to spin that injury into a red shirt, especially as Kelly Stauffer pointed out on the jump around, that, hey, you shouldn't have put him out there. And so the NCAA and the Badgers might be like, we're not going to fight a red shirt. Just go play, and we don't want any litigation here. Go do what you want. So now you got players making business decisions already. And this is the downside of where the Badgers are at. And at this point, I wish there was someone that they could bring in to just oversee this for the time being. I don't know what your co-host is up to on Mondays, but maybe Barry's got 4 or 5 games left in him.
We're at the Hard Rock Casino Rockford on Monday evening, so it won't be that night. I can tell you that. We're looking forward to a big night down there. Jim, we won't keep you any longer before you head into the game, but the great conversation. This is what you can catch, this and more. Jim, Matt, and Molly weekdays 4 to 6, and the Jump Around Thursdays on the ESPN Madison and ESPN Milwaukee YouTube channels, as well as the ESPN Wisconsin app. Any final thoughts as we head into Wisconsin and number 1 Ohio State, or Mertz, you too?
I got one that I want to hear Jim comment on quickly. In this era, when you see a Kurt Signetti come in, and I know this is that's the exception to the rule.
Yeah.
No question about it. But do you have more optimism about an ability to turn over a program, to change the identity, to come back more quickly than had been historically possible?
Yes.
Or is that too much fool's gold?
No, this program makes me nervous, but let's be honest, Indiana didn't feel like it was going anywhere until it was figured out. So I think there's layers to it. One part is, I think if you get a coach, and I said this before, I think I said this last time I was on, if Jim Leonhard's here, maybe we're playing like Iowa is this year and they have 6-7 wins. That's not what we wanted. So again, the move to Fickle made sense because nobody wanted that. I don't know if Jim could compete in the NIL days and all of that. And I also think there's more systemic problems for the Badgers than just Luke Fickle. Yeah. So even if the team would look better on the field, and so maybe that gets you. Maybe the recruiting's a little different, so you have 1 extra or 2 extra wins over the last couple of years, and now you never have him bowl eligible, and then you just have a down year that's 4 or 5 wins, and you don't look inept, and you don't look like you quit, which is something. So to your point on the coach side of it, coach coming in, knowing their identity, recruiting their identity, I think taking advantage of the state of like, hey, in the Midwest, let's just recruit what we got, and let's get 25-30% of this roster that people want to be a Badger for life, and find the Jack Janicki's in basketball of the world, but find them for the football team. The glorified walk-ons guys almost getting nothing for NIL, but want to be Badgers and are happy with their scholarship and maybe a few bucks. And those are the guys that make up your core, who you are, and then you can add in some other players on top to add some splash and try to get 2 years out of these transfer guys. But the other part of it is the coach will matter. But I think they have to figure out, from what I gather, and not that the people I talk to are working with other NIL, but they're college football fans and they follow it. I think the Badgers NIL is far behind. I don't think they know exactly what they're doing. I don't think they know properly how to fundraise, properly how to reach out to these businesses, provide proper what's in it for me for these businesses, that value for them. So the other important thing for me is they need to find whoever's in charge of Indiana's or any of these other schools' NIL and find out who's doing that. Find the best mid-major or Indiana-type NIL folks and hire either that top person or the person right below them away so they can come in here and instill a program that we know we can feel comfortable with and say, all right, this person knows how to run it. So more important than the coach, or equally important as a coach, is finding someone, and this is Mac's job. I'm not saying it needs to be Mac, but Mac has to find someone who actually knows what the hell they're doing with NIL. From what I've heard a few different places, the Badgers are Pollyanna about NIL. They're just trying to play by these little rules and now the salary cap's going to fix all that. And the salary cap thing isn't even real because they never negotiated against anyone. And their lawsuit with who's the kid that Lucas?
Miami Xavier.
Yeah, Xavier Lucas. That could blow the whole thing up because if they say that contract isn't real because there was nothing in place and this is all just a fugazi, the whole thing will fall back apart again. So. I don't if that's your plan, you're done. And that's my concern is they're waiting for the NCAA to come save their ass. So that's not going to happen.
1:53 p.m. Fugazi on ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay. That's a walk-off line if I've ever heard one. It's like Ohtani hitting 3 dingers last night. Jim was bringing it during this segment. Thanks so much, Jim.
Thanks for having me.
Jim Rutledge, host of Jim, Matt, and Molly weekdays 4 to 6 on ESPN Madison and the Jump Around Thursdays on the ESPN Milwaukee and ESPN Madison YouTube channels. We're at ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay. LSU Vanderbilt on ABC on the big screen over here from Celebrations Entertainment. That's a fun football game going on right now. With Celebrations Entertainment, planning events has never been easier. They have complete event services for weddings, corporate events, nonprofit events, outdoor movies, casino nights, and much more fun. Visit celebrationsentertainment.com to get started today. Celebrations Entertainment, fun, memorable events. Speaking of Barry Alvarez, Jim wants him to come back and coach the team for a couple of games at the end of the season. We do talk on Mondays, and he says some interesting, compelling things. We're going to hear some of the best of Barry Alvarez coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay, brewed by Coors Light.
The countdown to kickoff continues next. You're listening to ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay.
Matt LePay for Steinhoffels. Steinhoffels is a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Since 1934, Steinhoffels has been Wisconsin's furniture and mattress destination for quality, selection, and service. For over 90 years, Steinhoffels has helped Wisconsinites create the homes of their dreams and is 100% employee-owned. Steinhoffels has the largest selection of all the latest styles and all the best mattress brands. You'll find something for every style and every budget. Shop in-store or online at steinhoffels.com. Relax, it's Steinhoffels.
It's the best time of the year, and you know what that means for me. It's tailgating season. Hey, it's Alex Stroh. For my friends at Door County Distillery, locally produced, handcrafted, award-winning spirits made locally in beautiful Door County. If you're in Madison tailgating before a game, there's only one thing to do to elevate your experience, and that's bring it with Door County Distillery. Whether that's the cherry brandy for your old-fashioned, the single malt whiskey, or any of the gins, vodkas, and in-betweens, Door County Distillery has you covered. Find the retailer nearest you at doorcountydistillery.com.
When it's game day in Madison, you know what that means. Pizza Hut time. Unlimited large one-topping pizzas, just $7.99 each. Or your team at home can load them up with 3 toppings for $9.99. Perfect for kickoffs, watch parties, or that fourth quarter comeback from your living room. Fuel your crew, fill the table, and keep the good times rolling all game long with Pizza Hut. Order now for delivery or carryout at pizzahut.com or on the app. Pizza Hut. Feed good times.
Electric bills are out of control, but with federal incentives, you can go solar with zero upfront cost and start saving hundreds a month. Badgerland Exteriors and Solar is a local and family-owned company, and they make the switch to solar simple. No pressure, no hassle, just honest.
AJ with Badgerland Exteriors here. Contracting made easy is more than a tagline. It's how we run our family business. Visit badgerlandexteriors.com to get started on your next project. That's badgerlandexteriors.com.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
To those who've ever dreamt of their perfect event, those dreams are worthy and they are possible. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With hard work, passion, and great music, we will make your event dreams a reality. Every event is a labor of love, with one-on-one planning, customization, and flawless execution. Bringing your event to life is what we do. For a fun, memorable event, visit celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
You hear that? That's the sound of Pepsi Zero Sugar, the better tasting, more refreshing Zero Sugar Cola. Listen to that endless pour. Pure refreshment. If it sounds this good, just imagine how it tastes. Oh yeah, so good. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Let your taste decide.
Get ready to unleash the dragon at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Introducing the region's very first $1 million Dragon Link slot games. With jackpots soaring to $1 million, your chance to hit it big is here. Come experience the ultimate gaming adventure. Visit Hard Rock Casino Rockford today and play the $1 million Dragon Link slot games. Your legendary win awaits. Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Let's hard rock. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable just to you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today.
Let's make tonight the weekend. I don't wanna wait. I don't wanna wait. I don't wanna wait. Got no reason not to celebrate.
ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay live from Regent Street. Jesse Nelson, Adam Mertz, producer Riley Out back in the Everlight Solar Studio at ESPN Madison as we continue the countdown to the number one team in the country, the Ohio State Buckeyes and the Wisconsin Badgers at Camp Randall Stadium. Save money, save the planet. Ditch the energy bill, make the switch over to Everlight Solar, your local solar energy company based in Madison. Visit EverlightSolar.com to learn more and make the switch today. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Before we get to Barry Alvarez, Mertzy, I was just talking to our friend Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment during one of our commercial breaks here, and I liked his optimism going into this game here today. He said even though Wisconsin has a great chance to get pummeled again today, it is rare that the number one team in the country plays in your stadium. And you get a chance to go in there and morale is down and no one expects a victory today. But you go in there, you get to cheer against the number one team in the country. You get to see the top players in the country on that number one ranked team. And there's a special atmosphere no matter how good or bad your program is doing when you're hosting the team with that little number one next to their name.
Everyone who's a competitor likes to see how you measure up against whoever they're putting out on the other side, but especially against just a talent-laden roster like this. We were talking in the first hour that reports are this roster is worth $35 million that they're paying out this year to have that in Columbus. And there's so many stars. What they have are stars and playmakers. And you remember that game a couple of years ago. Badgers kind of went toe-to-toe. And even with Braden Locke as a backup at quarterback, had a pretty significant game that game, managed to keep them in the game. What separated Ohio State was their playmakers. And it's special to see guys like Jeremiah Smith out there, like Caleb Downs, who you're going to see play on Sundays, and they change an entire ball game. So go out there and appreciate it and see if you can come up, if you're the Badgers, come up with a couple big plays against these guys. Ricardo Hallman, how much do you want to limit what Jeremiah Smith can do out there today? This is a challenge to you on a personal level as well as a team level.
ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay. No Barry Alvarez with us here today. I'm sure he's in the stadium as they celebrate the Rose Bowl championship teams that he coached in the 90s. He's a big part of that celebration going on all weekend long here in Madison, but he is also part of the Barry Alvarez Show on ESPN Madison Monday nights, and this Monday a special 2-hour edition from 6 to 8 at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Make the short trip down. That's where we kicked off our season, Mertzy.
A lot of optimism then.
It sure was. Show. Yeah, we were feeling pretty good back then. Come on out, 6 to 8. We'll be on the main stage in the Hard Rock Cafe. Get to play some table games, the slot machines, all that fun, while you also get to come out and enjoy the Barry Alvarez Show with Tarek Saleh, Derek Engler, of course the legend Barry Alvarez, and I'll be there too. Let's hear now a couple of clips from the best of Barry Alvarez.
Let's hear what the coach had to say.
Why did they do that? Because it makes sense. If you got a half a yard, you start a yard. You start closer. You don't have to run 5 yards. I'd run that clock. That game would be over. We'd be home having cocktails at 3:30.
This is the best of Barry.
Don't be so touchy.
On ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay.
So one clip in particular I want to make sure that we hear from Barry Alvarez about finding an identity for the Wisconsin football team, because this was actually inspired by comments from the defensive leader, Christian Allegro, after last week's 37-0 loss to Iowa. Here is what Coach Alvarez said when I asked him about those comments after the game. You have a player, especially a leader on the defensive side of the ball like Christian Allegro is, and he says he doesn't know what the identity of the team is. That was one of the things that he mentioned since the conclusion of the game on Saturday night.
Red flag when that's coming from your leader.
I'm sure it's a major red flag, but where do you even start if you as a head coach hear one of your players say that? What do you do first?
I'd call a staff meeting immediately, and I'd address some things because, it's too damn late now. Are you going to start establish an identity? You're into the season. You're into conference play.
We're halfway home.
That has to happen in the off season, in two-a-days, preseason. That's how you establish identity. What do you mean you don't have an established identity? Our guys will tell you right now, our identity was we're going to be physical. because they were physical every day. And then we would review it after practice in the evening. And you weren't going to play, or you weren't going to come close to the field unless you'd mix it up and you were physical.
Barry Alvarez, strong sentiments there, Mertz, including saying it's too damn late to try and establish an identity at this point in the season. That's the defeated mentality that I think a lot of Badgers fans that want to see this program do well, just like Coach does. He built this thing. You know he's saying all this from a place of passion, that he wants it to be good. And hearing a comment like that from one of your senior leaders or one of your star defensive leaders, that's just got to be tough for him and for all of us to hear after the game last week.
I know, and, I always, obviously, we all appreciate hearing what Barry has to say about the game of football, because he'll just kind of cut through the fog a lot of the times and just give you what it is. He's been diplomatic about what's happening this year, and this last week's episode, tremendous job, Jesse, asking him questions, just hard-hitting questions about where this program was at. I thought he was forthcoming, direct, honest about his dissatisfaction with what's happening out there on the field. And, it's got to hit home for him as someone, if of all the things that Barry Alvarez was, he was a leader of men. He could inspire you. He could connect with you. He had every guy on that, whatever 120-person roster it was at that point, believing that their play, that their presence was integral to the success of that program. They understood what their role was, how they fit in. These are like building blocks kind of elements that you have to have in a program, and it's not there. And the fact it's not there after 3 years, and you're feeling like this need for constant reinvention at the head coach level, motivative slogans and pounding the rock and team and things like that, and it's a reach. It feels like a reach, and the fact that Christian Allegro came out and said that, I think, as you said, speaks volumes about where this team's at from their mental standpoint right now.
Plenty more to catch up on from our latest episode of the Barry Alvarez Show on the ESPN Wisconsin app and the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. It's all still going to be pertinent after today's game, so you can go check back the full podcast. And again, the 2-hour special coming up on Monday night. We're going to tell stories from this Rose Bowl reunion weekend, as well as, of course, talk about the state of the program following today's game, no matter what happens out on the field. 2-hour edition of the Barry Alvarez Show, Monday night, 6 to 8 on 100.5 ESPN Madison, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and live video streaming on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button if you're joining us on YouTube. If you're watching our show here from Regent Street right now, make sure you hit that subscribe button. You get notified every time ESPN Madison goes live, including for special programming like this show, the Barry Alvarez Show, and much more. ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay also brought to you in part by Gruber Law Offices, where they have a reputation for winning. Their team works tirelessly to help people seriously injured in accidents by providing the best care and service. Never a fee until they win your case. Gruber Law Offices, serving the state of Wisconsin for over 35 years. Adam Mertz, Gruber Law Offices, one call.
That's all.
Everybody knows it. Coming up next, we're going to bring in a few of our friends here at ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay. Man, it's been too long since Middle Tennessee was the last time I got to be part of this game here on Regent Street. I can't wait to bring in 3 contestants for a round of Scotty Says. That's coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay, brewed by Coors Light.
The countdown to kickoff continues next. You're listening to ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay.
When it comes to your career, most companies want you to be interested in them. At Northwestern Mutual, their mutual interest is you. That's why they listen to your career goals, plan the steps to get there, and work side by side all along the way. To learn more about career opportunities, search for Northwestern Mutual Southern Wisconsin online or call 608-836-3080. That's 608-836-3080. The Northwestern Mutual Life Insurance Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know you love working weekends. If it means working on your dream home, both inside and out. And we're here to help protect those dreams so you can enjoy peace of mind. Save up to 40% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Played like a pro but felt like an amateur? Twisted your ankle or jammed a finger under the Friday night lights? At Orthopedic and Spine Centers of Wisconsin, their Saturday Sports Injury Clinic has you covered. Skip the emergency room circus, dodge the waiting room sitcom, and get expert care from the pros who actually know sports injuries. Saturdays 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Walk into their location off the Beltline and get back in the game. Orthopedic and Spine Centers of Wisconsin, your comeback starts here.
Liberty Station American Tavern and Smokehouse isn't just a barbecue restaurant. Open daily for lunch and dinner, Liberty Station serves American comfort food with regional touches using many locally sourced ingredients. The bar at Liberty Station offers vintage cocktails created in a classic style, local craft beers, plus a wide array of wine options. And be sure to check out their sprawling patio with an indoor and outdoor porch area. Liberty Station, conveniently located just off the Beltline on Rimrock Road.
In the next 30 seconds, I'm going to tell you how to save money and save the planet. It's simple. Ditch your energy bill and make the switch over to Everlight Solar. While electricity prices keep rising, Everlight Solar will give you the chance to take ownership of your power while also reducing your carbon footprint. As a local company based out of Madison, they'll be there with you every step of the way as you make the switch to solar. To learn more about how you can save money and save the planet, go to everlightsolar.com.
Wisconsin sports fans, Brian Balaga here from my friends at Surfside. Football season is back, and we're bringing you your tailgate must-have. There's nothing more refreshing than an ice-cold Surfside to enjoy while you cheer on your home team. Made with real vodka and real brewed tea, Surfside is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, and 0 bubbles. That's right, no carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy. It's not a seltzer, it's Surfside. Ask for it at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Must be 21. Please drink responsibly.
Looking to take your baseball game to the next level? GRB Academy provides year-round training programs designed around your schedule and your goals. For over 15 years, GRB has been Wisconsin's leader in player development and advancement with a state-of-the-art 52,000 square foot facility of elite baseball training space and coaches who know how to get results. From youth to high school, baseball players trust GRB to help them reach their next level. Training program spots are filling quickly, so don't wait. Register now at grbacademy.com.
Shop the Pig! The new Piggly Wiggly Pig Points program is here, and earning rewards just got easier. Now you'll earn 10 Pig Points for every $1 you spend, and redeem those points on your favorite products right in the store. It's simple, it's rewarding, and it's all right here at your neighborhood Piggly Wiggly. So shop more, earn more, and save more only at Piggly Wiggly. Sign up today at shopthepig.com.
Piggly Wiggly, shop the pig.
Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The ESPN Wisconsin app. Customizable just to you. Find the ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores today.
ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay, brewed by Coors Light, live from Regent Street. The ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay tailgate party, where I don't think anyone here cares about going into the college football game taking place today. Everybody is still here. No one has left. Usually by the time we get to this portion of the show, like we are 28 minutes away from kickoff, you would think that some people would be in the stadium already, but no one has left. Everybody is still here. It's a sea of red and some scarlet and gray, but that's okay too, right, as everyone's here to celebrate number 1 Ohio State and Wisconsin going at it on a beautiful fall Saturday afternoon in downtown Madison. Jesse Nelson, Adam Mertz, our producer Riley Yauk back in the Everlight Solar studio at ESPN Madison, and it's now time to play my favorite game of the week. It's time for Scotty Says.
It's time to play Scotty Says. Brought to you by Pizza Hut, the official pizza of Wisconsin College GameDay. No one out-pizzas the Hut. Give it up for Jesse Nelson.
Thank you, big boy Sky. Thank you, thank you. Pizza Hut delivers a win every time with the dinner box. The big dinner box, just $19.99, Mertzy. You can actually get this for the game today. That's 2 medium, 1-topping pizzas, 8 boneless wings, 5 breadsticks. You feed the whole team for one unbeatable price. Find the nearest location or order online at pizzahut.com. Feed the good times only from Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut. We're going to see if no one out-answers our contestants today. For Scotty Says, Austin, Andy, Abby, and Eli are our contestants today. We're the only ones who can hear. Let's give a round of applause for our 4 contestants. Our first contestant up is Austin in our game. Austin, are you familiar with Family Feud?
I am familiar with it, yes.
Great, because that's exactly what this game is. We just called it something else for copyright purposes.
Perfect.
All right, so top 5 answers are on the board. You will answer until you get one wrong. When you get it wrong, then we're going to pass that mic over to Andy. Then we'll go to Abby, and if I can get the contest rules adjusted, we'll see if Eli can take care of it as well. So here we go. Your question, Austin. Name one of the top 5 most popular nuts eaten in the United States.
I'm going to go with peanut.
Peanut is the answer. Mertz, this is where you say, good answer, good answer. Yeah, good answer. All right. Peanuts. Riley is peanuts on the board. Number 1 answer, peanuts. Woo! Top 5 nuts in the United States. This is in honor of the Ohio State Buckeyes. The Buckeyes are a nut Brutus. All right, Andy, Austin, you get to keep going. Austin. So, you got the number 1 answer on the board. Let's go again. Name one of the top 5 nuts in the United States.
Let's go with almonds.
Almonds. Show me almonds. Number 2. Nicely done. He's on a tear, folks.
Might run the table.
He might. If he goes in order, I think that's 2 dinner boxes he might get from Pizza Hut here. All right. You're up again, Austin. Let's keep it rolling. Name one of the top 5 nuts in the United States.
Let's go with pecans.
Pecans. So, southern pecan, some would say. Good answer, good answer. Riley, do we have pecans on the board? Number 3. He is on a tear, folks. And he's getting them in order. This
going
is
for the inside straight.
A potential all-time performance by Austin. He's not even going to let the other members of his party join the show. He's going to try and run the gauntlet. Name one of the top 5 nuts in the United States, Austin.
Let's go with cashews.
Cashews. They're not saying boo. They're saying cashews. Show me cashews. Oh, it's off the board. I'm sorry,
good
Austin.
Good choice.
That's a good run, though. You got 3 of them. So now we pass it over to Andy. Andy joins us on Scotty Says on ESPN Wisconsin College
Let's go, Andy.
GameDay. Andy, welcome aboard. Austin did you great there. You got the first 3 off the board. Peanuts, number 1. Almonds, number 2. Pecans, number 3. Cashew, not on the board. Same question to you, Andy. Name one of the 5 most popular nuts eaten in the United States.
I'm going to go walnut.
Walnuts.
All right.
Walnuts, I think, are the funny one. Or no, those are cashews. Cashews like grow on apples, right? Have you ever seen these? They're very weird. All right, anyway, show me walnuts. Long drum roll. Hey, it's on the board. Number 4, walnuts. That means there's only 1 answer left for you guys to win Pizza Hut from our friends at the Southern Wisconsin Pizza Hut locations. 1 last nut on the board. Do you know what it is, Andy?
I don't know if I have another nut on me.
Oh, man, that is always tough.
Hold on. Let me think here.
Yep.
I'm going to go.
See if you can go into your mind.
Macadamian.
Macadamia.
All right.
Good answer. Good answer.
Good answer. I just ate some last night.
Really?
Yeah.
That's fun.
They're delicious.
Survey. Oh, I can't say survey. I think that's Scotty Says. Oh, sorry, Andy. All right. Thanks for playing, Andy. You gave it a good run. You got 1 more off the board, which means we now bring in Abby. Welcome to Scotty Says on ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay. Abby, your teammates have done a tremendous job thus far. They have gotten the top 4 answers. Peanuts, almonds, pecans, and walnuts.
Okay.
1 more answer to go for your team to win Pizza Hut.
I'm ready.
Name one of the top 5 nuts eaten in the United States.
I'm going to go pistachio.
Pistachio. I dislike the flavor pistachio tremendously. Yeah, I threw up on it as a kid.
Oh, one of those.
Never wanted to go back to it. Show me pistachios. It's a winner! Woo! Pizza Hut coming the way for Austin, Andy, Abby, and Eli. They have run the board. The top 5 nuts in the United States. If anyone knows nuts, it's this group. Nicely done, everybody. Well done. Well played. Scotty says on ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay. Man, I love this game.
Buckeyes not on the list. Buckeyes was what? Number 39?
They weren't top 5. It's Family Feud style. It's not on the board. I don't know where it is. Thanks again to our contestants, Austin, Andy, Abby, and we didn't hear from Eli, but he did great as an emotional support contestant.
He was plotting with Abby on that 5th answer, though. I think he gets partial credit.
Are you accusing the team of malfeasance?
No. It's just good collaboration. Just like us, Jesse. Just like us.
Good answer, Mertzy. Good answer. ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay. Scotty says, brought to you by Pizza Hut. Our show is also brought to you in part by Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. That's where the winners go. Just like Austin, Andy, Abby, and Eli. I'm sure they're going to hit up Ho Chunk Gaming Madison this weekend. They're on a tear. And it's open 24 hours until 2 a.m. on Monday morning. Winners go to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison, the casino with the highest payout percentage in the area. Go be a winner at Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. More spins, more wins, more fun. We'll get to our national picks and our final thoughts on number 1 Ohio State and Wisconsin this afternoon at Camp Randall Stadium. Straight ahead on ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay, brewed by Coors Light.
The countdown to kickoff continues next. You're listening to ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay.
Want to move better, play faster, and compete at a higher level? Train where Wisconsin's top athletes go. Total Athlete Performance. From middle school phenoms to the pros, TAP is Madison's #1 destination for speed, power, and athleticism. Their proven systems, expert coaches, and cutting-edge equipment help you dominate your sport. Can't make it in? Train anywhere with the TAP mobile app. Spots are filling fast, so don't wait. Visit tapwisconsin.com to schedule your free athletic assessment today.
How much does it cost to talk to Gruber Law Offices after a serious crash? It's free. Yes, free. As in it won't cost you anything to speak with us. Not sure if you have a case? Call our team at Gruber Law Offices today. Your first call and your first consultation are always free. And you'll never pay us a fee until we win your case. If you've been seriously injured, call Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Experience, knowledge, results. That's what really matters when you need help after a serious truck accident. You'll need a lawyer experienced in fighting and winning for people just like you. Gruber Law Offices has the resources, strong track record of success, and a team of experienced lawyers to take care of your needs. We've successfully helped people injured in big truck accidents for more than 35 years. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
It takes a team to meet just about any goal, and that's as true on the football field as it is in the office. So it's good to know that you have the Gordon Flesh Company on your side. For more than 60 years, GFC has provided cutting-edge office technology for companies of all sizes, and as the nation's largest Canon dealer, GFC delivers the latest office technology, serviced, and is supported by the most experienced professionals in the industry. That's business technology managed. Visit gflesh.com to learn more.
Looking to take your baseball game to the next level? GRB Academy provides year-round training programs designed around your schedule and your goals. For over 15 years, GRB has been Wisconsin's leader in player development and advancement with a state-of-the-art 52,000 square foot facility of elite baseball training space and coaches who know how to get results. From youth to high school, baseball players trust GRB to help them reach their next level. Training program spots are filling quickly, so don't wait. Register now at grbacademy.com.
Ready for the snap, and a timeout taken. The team looks a little bit lost. Let's bring in Gina Della from Pella. What's the winning game plan this month?
Wayne, the winning play is simple. A whole house of new windows as low as $297 a month with 0% interest for up to 60 months.
Wow, that's a drive you can sustain for years. No penalties, no interest. A championship move from Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
No doubt, Wayne. And unlike the opponent's defense, Pella Windows actually stop the drafts.
The draft picks we gave up for number one had to be the steal of the century.
True, but I'm talking about replacing old drafty windows.
Roger that. With energy-efficient windows that keep the cold out, you'll stay as toasty as a fan at a warm weather preseason game.
Pay as low as $297 a month for a whole house of new Pella windows.
Plus, with 0% interest for up to 60 months, don't sit on the sidelines, folks. Make your move today.
Schedule your free consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Service versus applies 10/31/2025.
Hey, this is Jonathan Blackwell of Wisconsin Badgers basketball. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona Madison, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
For more than 65 years, Gordon Flesch Company has been providing cutting-edge technology for companies of all sizes as the nation's largest Canon and Lexmark dealer. That's business technology managed. Visit gflesch.com to learn more. ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay, brewed by Coors Light, live on Regent Street as we continue to get set for Wisconsin and Ohio State at Camp Randall Stadium. Time now for our game picks for the week, which are brought to you by Canopy Wealth Management. They carry a long-standing tradition of working in the best interest of their clients every day. The team at Canopy emphasizes building local relationships and believes that values matter and strengthen their communities. At Canopy, care, competence, and clarity isn't it just a tagline. No, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started today. Let's get to our national picks of the week.
All right, fellas. Before we can do that, we got to take a look at the leaderboard for this week.
Yes, we do.
No, we don't.
And Mertz continues to reign supreme. He just cannot be stopped. He had a perfect week last week with 5 points. Brad is right back in the mix, instantly putting me back in last place.
Brad's been on one show this year. How is Brad in second place in this contest?
Because you missed last week's show, so
he quit in the middle. He's been off 5 weeks.
You and Mertz both sent me picks, and I realized, and I asked you guys to send me picks. I realized I had never asked Brad to send me any picks.
So he gets automatic wins every week?
No. Last week he had picks. Last week he had picks. I just bumped him up to be level with me last week in last place. And now I'm terrible at making picks. So.
Riley, you're lucky we're running out of show. I got more bones to pick with you about this. We'll have to do it next week.
There have been a lot of bones picked with me about this game pick scoring and how we run things here. So
this is no WIA matrix, I can tell you that.
Jesse just threw a challenge flag.
Yeah, he's not the first and probably won't be the last. So let's get to the picks. Number 5, Ole Miss. Number 9, Georgia. Big matchup in the SEC. Who you guys got? Start with
Mertz. Oh, sorry.
Well, we know who Jesse's picking.
Yeah, and you know what? Dogs are like 2 plays away from being 3-3 this year, but they find a way. They just find a way. That crazy turn of events at halftime last week at Auburn. They're going to come out on top today against Ole Miss. I don't know if they're going to cover, but they're going to come out on top.
Ole Miss just doesn't have a track record of winning this game until they prove they can win.
Yes.
This game, I'm not going to pick them to do so. Give me Georgia at home.
All right, moving on to one of the classic rivalries in college football. Number 20, USC at number 13, Notre Dame. Who's winning the Bejeweled Shillelagh today?
That's what they call that thing?
Bejeweled Shillelagh.
Yep.
That's fun to say.
That's a great one.
Thunderstorms tonight in South Bend. So who's going to be able to adjust to the severe weather better? In Southern California, they don't really have severe weather the way that they do in South Bend. So give me the Irish under the lights at home in South Bend.
I love what USC has done. Picked them last week to beat Michigan. That was at home. That was in front of that Coliseum crowd. Notre Dame's 2 losses this year were brilliantly played games. I'm going to take the Irish at home in the last scheduled matchup of this series at this point in time, which is a sad state of affairs.
That it is. Brad also went with Notre Dame and Georgia. I'm going with Georgia, and I need to start making up some points. So I'm going USC over the Fighting Irish tonight. And finally,
benefit of going last, I see.
Yeah. Finally, the Holy War out west. Number 23, Utah at number 15, BYU. Who takes it?
Man, this will be like watching a good Wisconsin-Iowa football game the way these teams play. Who's at home? BYU's at home?
BYU.
That's a primetime game tonight. Oh, man, that's going to be fun. The great atmosphere for these. Yeah, I love the dichotomy of the uniforms. It's always a aesthetically pleasing game. I think BYU is for real in the Big 12. They were in contention to be a Big 12 champion last year. I think they're right back in it this year. I'll take the Cougars in Provo to win the Holy War.
I want so bad to pick Utah in this game because I just feel like Devin Dampiers brought a really interesting dynamic to that Utah offense. But watching them get undressed by Texas Tech earlier this year, and then having a BYU team that also seems to have this survivor mentality. Should have never won at Arizona State a couple weeks ago. I'm taking BYU at home.
Yep, I'm also going with the Cougars. Last time I picked Utah, they got shellacked by Texas Tech. But Brad, on the other hand, is taking the Utes tonight.
I'm sure he'll get it right. He'll move up the leaderboard somehow.
Guess we'll see. Hey, we can have a more thorough debate next week. As for now, that is it for our national picks.
I'll launch an internal investigation into this segment for the rest of the year. ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay live from the Starion Bank broadcast booth on Regent Street. Experience a banking relationship where your goals are their priority. As a community bank with a commitment to Dane County, Starion Bank redefines local banking in the Madison area. Visit one of their convenient branches in Middleton, Sun Prairie, or Monona today, or online at starionbank.com. Adam Mertz, final thoughts for number 1 Ohio State and Wisconsin at Camp Randall Stadium.
Yeah, one of the clips that you did not play from Barry's show this last week that I thought was really strong was the sense of playing for pride and having some pride in what you're doing. And last night, having that privilege to be around those members of those 3 Rose Bowl championship teams of the 90s, just an unbelievable privilege. Do it for Yusuf Burgess. I'm thinking to some of the guys that I saw there. Do it for Lee DeRamus. Do it for Joe Panos. And maybe especially do it for Chris McIntosh, who needs your help out there, fellas, today.
And do it for yourselves. Play for the pride that you should bring to the logo on that helmet, to the name on the back of your jersey. Go out there, be competitive like we've seen Wisconsin be against top 10 opponents that have come to Camp Randall in the Luke Fickell era. No one thought UCLA was going to beat 7th-ranked Penn State a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, that was a CBS 2:30 game. Maybe it's something about the time slot and the network and the vibes around the school. Fireworks are going off. That means we got to get out of here. Thanks for joining us. I pledge, hand in the air, take the pledge. I pledge to tune in to the postgame show. Because there's no Brewers game tonight. Riley Yauk anchoring our postgame coverage after the game on ESPN Wisconsin. Thanks so much for joining us on ESPN Wisconsin College GameDay, brewed by Coors Light.
Brian here from Canopy Wealth Management. At Canopy, we create strategies that are tailored to your needs and goals. We've invested heavily in client-friendly software so your assets and plan progress are available to view in one place at any time. Whether you prefer only the high-level information or enjoy the intricate details of the planning